Good morning. We're going to talk about 9D. So, how did I know that my kids had learned? Like, how did my data and those numbers, like, what did it show me that they had learned? I think that goes back all the way back to knowing when you set up your assessments what it's testing for. So, for us, level 1 is vocabulary and cognates. Level 2 is simple details: who, what, when, where, that require like that you only understand like one detail of the text. So that's going to be influenced by their vocabulary knowledge and their basic grammar knowledge to be able to pull out subjects, to know vocabulary about locations. 3 is how and why questions, or details that require that you know more than one detail to answer. So that is a culmination of all of those things together: a deeper understanding of the vocabulary and the grammar, having adequate time to practice the skills like how to read a text or how to write a full sentence. And level 4 is things that require inference. So it tells you that there's a rug in the living room and the dog sleeps in the living room. Where does it make sense that the dog sleeps in the living room? So you have to know lots of vocabulary, and you also have to use your brain at kind of a higher level to answer those. So when I see scores of 3, I know that the kids have understood enough of the text or the listening to answer those more detailed questions, how and why questions. When I have a kid who's only scoring like a 1.5, I know that they have the vocabulary and the knowledge, but it's probably like the grammar that's throwing them off, or they don't understand how to look for a subject and use pronouns, that kind of thing. So I can go back through it, see where they stopped scoring well, to have an idea of how to help them get better. According to the effect size, writing, my class improved 1.77 deviations. In listening, they improved more than 3 deviations. And in reading, it was more than 2.5 standard deviations, which, based on my discussions with Dr. Rains and the data here, that's some pretty good movement. I think it helps that I teach a subject where kids come in typically with very little, or if they do have some language knowledge because they speak at home, they're not used to using it in a way that does more than just communicate their basic needs. So asking them to write about their day or to read about someone's school life where you're supposed to pull information from it, that kind of language skills they haven't been using at home. Clarifies the teacher understanding of how much students have learned from pre-test to post-test. I would consider that if I can get a kid from nothing to 2 in a semester, that we've done adequately well. I would much prefer see kids from the 2.5 to the 3.5 range, but with so many of our students, they just come in with so little knowledge about how to study and how to learn. We teach them so much more than language when we use this process, and I think that's one of the reasons I found it so meaningful. Is some of the students I have that go through this, like learning what 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first time that they learn how to learn or how to get better at something. And that's been totally worth it.